access to basic things that make us Americans. All right, now imagine growing up in Mississippi, and my brother, I have one brother. He and I would want to go to the movies on Saturdays. I believe it was a dime to go, and Dad would give us 25 cents allowance every week, but we had to dust the furniture in order to get that quarter. But when we went to the theater downtown, we would stand outside. There were two ways in. Here you had down on the balcony, you had the big, nice, fancy doors. And all of the white kids went into that door. And then on the other side where they sold, everybody bought the ticket from the same place, except there was a colored line and there was a white line to buy tickets. So you stood over in the colored line. Some of the signs said Negroes, no Negroes allowed. What Carl Rice, Mr. Rice did in the Jim Crow era by creating this character, he set the tone for the society to then started to really segregate people. Now you got to remember that after the Civil War, when Black people were somewhat free, we had the mobility to move around. In fact, my grandfather owned land. I never lived in a rented house growing up. My father owned his own home. But the Jim Crow character became so prominent in the culture until white people latched onto it and got this notion that we are inferior. And at the theater, because we are inferior, we were forced, if you wanted to go to the movie, you had to go up the stairs and then you had to walk down this deep embankment where the chairs were, and you could look down over the white kids. And if you wanted to buy, say, popcorn and candy, there was a separate color line that you went to. I recall once my brother and I was out on Highway 45 at there were no McDonald's back in those days. And there was these little white hamburger stands. If we wanted a hamburger, you had to go around to the back door. You couldn't go up to where the white people were and order food. And those kind of things created the civil rights movement, so to speak. There had always been some form of resistance by Black people. You can take it all the way back to the Black porters days of the railroad station. Porters that worked and carried the food in the suitcases and stuff. All of the different the things that happened in Oklahoma, the burning of this town being burned to death. So Black people with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People has always tried to put up some kind of resistance to this Jim Crow society.